Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We're doing a VASSAL Module overview of Combat 2 by Compass Games. This will actually be a base module for Combat 1 and an extension for Combat 2 in preparation for the planned or rumored expansions to Combat. So I want to have that availability and already this thing's becoming a beast with just Combat 2. Those of you that have the game will realize that, well, actually, you better have the game if you have this module. Um, that how much stuff is in that box? Well, a lot of that it just takes up a lot of graphic space and everything, so it slows down the module a little bit. But very playable. I'm playing and enjoying the crap out of it right now. So it's time to. I've got this in good enough shape to where I can give the overview. Um, video of it that I can put in the help menu so you know how to find all the controls and stuff relatively simply without finding out, going through it the hard way, banging your head against the wall and get discouraged. So first and foremost will be the setup of it. When you download this, you will want to put the wherever you put the base module, which in this case is Combat 2.0B. Wherever you put that base module, you'll want to rename a folder the same name as the module itself with a underscore slash underscore capital EXT after it and put the MDX module for Combat 2 in there. And then when you load up, you will see that it says extension Combat 2 extension 1.0 version 1 or whatever it says up there. And actually, I thought I changed that so that would not have that. That's all right. We will not worry about that. Um, So you'll go in and obviously start the game up. You're going to have your basic choose solo. When you get to this, you should have the list by the time I release this. This will have the scenarios in it for both the base game and Combat 2. It will not have the campaign games in there. You'll have a new setup to click on for that because there's just so many varieties to load in, and the save games do take up a ton of space. Um, and this for this game, for this instance, we're just going to use a small map too for scenario intro scenario 2. You see, it does take a second or two to load in. There's just so much going on with an extension and all the graphics and stuff in there now. I upped my preferences to 2000 just to make sure that it doesn't have a hard time loading everything in. It doesn't need it, trust me. I've run it on base default heap, but just in case. The overview. We'll start over here and work on our way to the right. Base die, base controls, undo, play through the log, connect to the server, 10-sided dice, virtual dice. You can see your results in the window, same with the D6. D100, and I not do that on for obvious reasons. I'm not going to put 100 sides on something that you're not going to use a whole lot. So that's just going to show up right here. And I think I got to put a -1 on that yet so that it shows up 0 to 99. I'll make myself a note of that. Not going to redo a video. This is like my third setup video because I since saw a problem that I thought I had taken care of earlier and I had to fix that real quick. So -1 on D100. Okay. Did that for my campaign module. Retire if you want to change side, but there is only one side, so you shouldn't have to ever worry about that. Go back to solo. Counters, all the counters you need are in here. Um, most of the ones you'll access will be under the utility or indirect fire or general. Vehicle damage is there, but it's all included. I don't know if I have mired in the mobile in there, but I can add that as a drop down menu as time goes on. The rest of them's all their orders and everything, which should all be automatic, but they're here available if you need them. You can pull them down. The other thing, yes, I wanted to touch base on is your setup markers. They are in the utility. these will still work. And your setup games will have these. You'll see these placed on the board where characters are supposed to go. And if you have a character in the cup and you select these, it'll drop him down onto the board. And yeah, it takes a couple seconds because, like I said, there's so much co-driver's error. I got to fix that still. Co-driver's zone. Um, so that's still in place, just so you know. We can send him back to the character display for when we go through that later. So all that will be available for you. So when you go into the setup, just right click on that and it'll bring down the character for that slot. I use that also for reinforcements. I just stack the necessary ones on the location. If there's too many of them, I don't expect it in the save game file because there's just a lot of work that already goes into this. And, I just probably will run out of time on it. Next up is your impulse tracker. And as you see, we have a shit ton of impulse chits now to include the new elites, the new vehicles, the command team, and the friendly vehicles, and there'll be even more added on. So I've left kind of space over here to add more on as the new vehicles and stuff come in. Your search chits are down here. When you have a scenario or a mission that calls for them, just grab out the amount of chits you need, put them into the deck over here, and pull them out and put them on the board where needed. Same with the items found. Your new direction chits for colored are up here for anything you need them for. They coincide with the different German teams. White's the base one right here, so that's always out. These still all can be set automatically, so nothing's changed from um, Nigel's base module if you use that. And next up will be the player hand. Nothing's changed on there. You really only should have 5 slots. You have 10 available, but you should really only have 5 cards in your hand. If you plan, you should stick them here because you're only allowed to put 5 in your hand. It'd be best to have them available. I mean, not available, so you don't forget and leave like 7 cards up there. Anyway, that's nothing's really changed in that. Same thing with the initiative card display mat. Nothing's really changed on that. The same setup as before. Your vehicles, you draw cards for that you discard them after you get the initiative and the order set up off of them. Character displays. They used to be just a button you click and you get the character display right away. Well, that's changed now, but there's more characters to display. We now have the additional team members over here. You've got your command team down here and your designated medics down here. Nothing's changed. The menus are all the same. The only thing that's really changed is you have the ability to fire LETs and load LETs now. And I thought there was a mount up. Maybe we need to put that in there. I thought I put a mount up in there, but I don't see it. We'll have to add mount up. Got to have mount up. But next up is the campaign characters, and these are the generic ones that come with the game. If you desire to use those, you may. They're there to be used if you prefer that method, or the editable ones that I've made for my campaign manager or control module. You can come in here and select the ones that you have on your campaign menu, edit the stats and put them on the board. Then you can play it just like you would normally, either leaving the letters in or putting the name and rank. Depends on how you want to play it. But these are all editable to coincide with your campaign manager. I use this method. It takes me maybe 15 minutes to set them up. It doesn't take a whole lot of time. And it's worth it when you're playing the game. You don't have to keep referencing back to paper. Um, and they are fully playable, the same as the rest of the guys are. Um, like I said, I mount up. I'll have to add mount up in there. That's one thing I thought I had put in and do not see it. The other tab is characters, friendly character, crew rather. And as I noticed, my zone for co-driver isn't showing up. These should all show to the proper tank when you want to select them. You do this randomly. That's why I didn't lay them all out. You don't want I don't want you guys going through and selecting whoever you want for them. You're supposed to do it randomly, so I gave you no choice but to do it randomly. And that one's not going to show because I know I've got to fix that. They go directly to the vehicle, which we'll show you later. Trucks and Jeeps, you use your own characters or you assign a driver from the pool. If you have to use a driver from the pool, just draw one randomly and drag it over. I did not make it available so that things could be misinterpreted. Enemy characters, same thing. Your old enemy characters are all here, as you've seen before. I did add in the medics for each color. They're all available now, and they all get sent to the cups. Plus, be sent to A and B cup as normal. Plus the C and D cups that are added in two. And you got your medics with their limited orders because they do not fire. So, but they're available to you now too. The elites are the next one. Same thing with them, all available. Cups C and D are in here. I did that for ease, just to make things simpler and lining everything up and porting everything over to Combat 2 because I had enough work to do making the module for Combat 2. And your medics and everything are in here. These are quite lethal opponents, and you'll be seeing them in the campaign game not by choice, or you can see them in your regular scenarios by choice. That is completely up to you. Um, the other thing is the enemy crew, and again, you'll do the same thing. You'll just draw 5 of them down, one of each, and port them over to the proper tank that you want to use them in, and these all work properly. I'm going to send them the Panzer A. All right, civilians, next big one. All your normal civilians are here from before. The new ones from Combat 2 are right here, and I also was able to make with my ability to, with the making of the editable characters, I was able to make an Alex character up for you to use in Scenario 8. That would be him right there, already set up with the MP40 and everything. So, if you want to, you can use the old Alex character set up on the counter um, palette, or you can use this guy here. Doesn't matter. Both do the same thing. That's just more for visual than anything. Um, Graveyard's the same. Charts are the same, except I used the spotting chart from Bay Change at BGG. I like that chart, so that's the one I use for base combat. Your random events tables are all here. Um, they are exact same as Combat 2. I may port the Combat 2 ones in, but there is some errata on them already, so I want to work on the artwork a little bit on them before we port them in. They're the exact same. It's just an artistic thing. The OOBs you can use if you so desire. They show you where your current guys are and who's where at a glance. Notes, nothing's changed. The C4, you want to toggle this on if you have C4 in your mission, so that you are able to use the plan orders for everybody. Um, Germans, the German armor, Panzer IV, we'd sent the guys to earlier. You see they're all here now. Here's your marker for use on the board. Just pull that down. It does rotate. Um, the turret does rotate and does rotate with the vehicle, so you don't have to worry about trying to keep it up or anything. And I don't have it listed in the menu, but if you need to get rid of it off the board for some reason, just Control R. That'll send it right back to the slot and in the right position, and it'll get rid of the turret at the same time. Uh, your hatches are all here, open and close. as per the scenario setups or as your orders go. Your orders for each position are in the chip next to the counter, and each counter itself has the proper orders for that counter as what they can do if they have to. There it is, mount ups and other orders. I knew I had it. Um, so these guys can do. They can be put on the board and moved around, or they can be used just in the vehicle. They shouldn't have them moved on here. I had the move shut off in this map, but every time something moves to this map, the move shows up. So I'm stuck with that. Not smart enough to turn that off. So if it bothers you like it does me, just move them slightly and it goes away. You're loading your main gun. When you load it, go ahead and put loaded on either one of these. You don't even have to flip it if you don't want. You can put it there when you're unloaded. It's up to you. I just put the weapon loaded as a reminder. Your damage is all down here. As you can see, each section is selectable. So if you have damage, just click on it, hit damage, and your counter will be there. So you don't need to keep drawing counters out of the game palette. Um, Basically, that's it for the armor. They all do the same thing. The other thing I did have on these, and I get too fast for myself sometimes. Up top here, I have the cleanup, which will clean up everything on here. If you, for some reason, need to clear off the tank, you shouldn't need to. I mean, once you play with it, you're playing with it. Remove all orders is right here, the same as on the main board. So when you come over here, because this button does not clear the individual maps, you can clear the orders of your tank real quick before you assign your new ones. Or tank or any vehicle, they all have that. These slots here, you'll need to assign your driver and co-driver in these slots out of the cup. You can either choose to do that by putting a scenario setup marker over here and drawing them over, or just manually draw a guy out of the cup. That's completely up to you. I don't want to get too involved in setting all these things up, because the more things you set up, the more it bogs down the module and takes up space. And these are going to get pretty intricate as the different extensions start coming in. Friendlies. We got the M4A3, which the driver stayed over there because I still got to fix that zone. And as you see, same thing, just move them around. It's the exact same over here, driver orders and everything for the vehicle. And then the counter itself has the orders for the being on the board or whatnot. Same thing with the main gun, be loaded or unloaded. Um, Damage, same thing. It's all selectable down here. You just click on it as things get damaged. Clean up the thing right up here. That'll clear up all those. And your remove orders are also right here. Same as your hatches, open and close. This is again your game piece that has the Sherman turret on it that also moves the same as the German one does. Took a little time and did that right. Um, Made it invisible so you couldn't see it, and I tried to mask it also so it's not overwhelming. And I think that turned all well. Anyway, there you have it for the vehicles. Again, the armor, not armor. The Jeep, you get assigned as per scenario. You use one of your squads, unless you don't have a driver per se with a skill available, in which case you do just randomly draw a driver and bring him over here. How you choose to do that is up to you. I just drag them over. Normally they start outside of the vehicle anyway. Um, can't see them sitting in the vehicle. You can. It doesn't matter how you do it. Either way. And then the passengers, same thing. You assign them on your own. Damage, though, damage is automatic. The machine gun will be covered by whoever's in this slot. Again, we have the orders available for each position, and only the orders for that position are available, so that kind of helps you with that. I did not put the cheat up here because it's not as basic. You just work left to right on that one. Not as intricate as the APC is with its 5 characters, and the commander having to go first, the driver second, etc. Um, Armor. This is all your newer charts from Combat 2. Most of them pertain to armor, so I put armor on there just so you can differentiate between the two. your basic screenshot, your zoom controls, your overview map, hide all pieces, um, LOS, set all markers invisible, set all markers visible, and your mark pieces is moved. All that's the same. On the counters, you do have the option to use the movement trail. I like it, don't like it. Um, if you're doing a clean move, it's fine. I have trouble with them stacking. Things start getting messy with that, but it's nice to see where you went. But that clears with the move, and I'd rather have the move clear with every impulse, so I can remember who I moved and who I didn't move. So I very rarely use that mark that movement trail, but it's available if you need it. That basically is an overview of this. I will go directly in and fix that co-driver zone, so that won't be an issue. And I hope you guys enjoyed this. It's been a lot of work, but it's been fun, and I am enjoying the playthrough on it so far. And I hope you guys enjoy it too. Thanks for joining me. This is Combat 2 by Compass Games. We will see you next time.